And it marks the fourth consecutive month above 9 million and represents nearly a trillion increase compared to, look at the bottom line with all this. He's bringing in money. He's bringing in money to the country that Obama and Biden and others said could never happen. There was no way to make it happen, understanding that neither Obama or Biden had ever done anything in business to make money, right? Never signed any paychecks. You hear that all the time. It's true, though. If you don't have families working for you, if you don't have people, and I owned a business for 20 years here in California, a computer company. I had 19 families. I didn't have 19 employees. I had 19 families working for me. And I had to make sure that I did my best to make the right decisions, to bring in money, to build the business. So when I signed those paychecks, they didn't bounce all over the place. Those people were depending on me. That guy or gal working for me was depending on that check to feed their families. Well, Obama and Biden don't understand that. They don't know that. And I don't believe they care as long as they can feed their own families. Now, Japan still remains the largest foreign holder of, U.S. treasuries with 1.1 trillion going into June 2025. And that's up. So, again, I mean, God bless Trump for what he's doing. You got to keep him in your prayers. You really do, because they're not done. They just picked up a woman that was headed over to D.C. to assassinate him, to kill him. And they picked her up, and like I said, this is not going to go away. This is going to be a 4-year fight. And again, for those of you who pray and believe, you need to pray for his protection. You need to pray that God has his angels around him to protect him, to let the people protecting him know what's going on, see what's going on. So keep the president in your prayers. So much appreciate your time. The illegal alien truck driver that I'm sure Todd has talked about, who killed 3 people on the Florida highway, he could not get a work permit. Now, California Governor Gavin Newsom, he he touted how safe this state is, how they welcome everybody in, and then he went off on how it's just Trump's fault that this truck driver got killed. I mean, this truck driver killed 3 people. I can't get drunk enough to understand that logic. Now, that driver was turned down for a work permit by the Trump administration first time. But somehow he got it during Joe Biden's administration. I don't know how, but he got it. Also, to get a California driver's license to drive a truck, there's like 15 pieces of information you need to have to prove who you are. You got to take the test, all that fun stuff. How this guy got that driver's license is beyond me. He didn't have a birth certificate. The more and more I read up on this, he didn't have a birth certificate. He didn't have the proper paperwork, and somehow he still walked away with a driver's license, which means in the state of California, he probably is also on the voter rolls. Again, this gets crazier and crazier as the days go on, and the only shot of sanity we have right now is President Trump. Even those, quote, Republicans, close quote, around him, don't excite me. They don't excite me at all. The Punjabi driver who obtained the truck driver license in the sanctuary state of California, he made this insane U-turn on a Florida turnpike. It was not like it was a side street or a small highway where he was taking a shot and making a U-turn. And if any of you saw the video, it's heartbreaking from a standpoint. You saw no reaction at the accident. You saw no reaction. Now, he looked over and he saw exactly what happened. I don't know about you, but if I did this totally by accident, and I probably would have slammed my head against the steering wheel. I probably would have been crying, seeing the damage that was done. I'm not an emotional guy, but I would have been. The driver, I can't even pronounce his name. Not being funny, but I can't. It looks like it's Harjinder Singh. He was arrested in Stockton, California, and charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide. At the conclusion of the state charges, he will be deported. Yeah, you know what? If we had done it the right way, 3 Americans would be alive right now. And isn't that hard? You don't even have to be a college graduate to figure that one out. Seriously. One of my favorite people in politics. My God. I'll tell you what, if we didn't have a good lineup for president right now, I'd be pushing for her to become an American citizen or something and be involved in our politics. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, I love the fact that she was rolling her eyes and she was looking so frustrated, so irritated at German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Merz went on to lecture Trump and calls for a ceasefire instead of a full peace deal. And I love Trump's response. It was very simple, not a whole bunch of words. He just went over and said, hey, you know what? Good luck to you. We're going to let the presidents figure this out. All right, we're going to go for a quick break now. Appreciate you staying with us here. Go ahead and heat up your coffee, cool down your drink, whatever it is you got in front of you. Maybe grab your lunch during the break and bring it back on over. We'll be back. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. I'm your guest host, Joe Messina. We'll be right back.
He's a man of his word. Todd Starnes.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS. America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild by visiting angel.com/Starnes.
Attention Patriots, Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster?
Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We are back. Joe Messina, your guest host right now. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. Coming to you live from today only from North Venezuela. And I call it that, jokingly call it that, because it's actually California. And we have sparsity on the shelves in the supermarkets. We have some of the highest gas prices, but can't always get gas. We get some of the highest electric bills in the country. Can't always get electricity. And I don't know, should I call it the bulletless train or the locationless train to nowhere, whose costs are skyrocketing? They haven't got like 1/90th of the train, the bullet train done here in California, and already we're skyrocketing. It's just crazy. Anyhow, give us a call, 901-260-5926, 901-260-5926. I want to thank Todd for giving me the opportunity to sit in for him today. Go to the website, pick the app. See, sometimes you're in a different place. You can't get the radio. Can't get to the radio in your car. Maybe you're sitting in your office. Whatever you're doing, you can always pull it down on your phone and you can listen to it. If you got headphones, you can always listen, and nobody else has to know what you're listening to if you don't want them to hear you. But you got to get the show. You got to listen to the show. All right. I was having some fun with German Prime Minister Friedrich Merz, not German Prime Minister, but the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. And you got to get the video. You got to get it online. Just go ahead and Google her name and, White House meeting. And my God, when the German Chancellor is speaking, she looks like she wants to stick ice picks in her ears. It's really that bad on her face. And God, I can only imagine how much she was holding back before she finally let go and let her eyes start to roll. But, we're hearing all these little stories about what happened. I hope that people understand the magnitude of what just took place. President Trump called world leaders together come to the White House. We need to work on this because this is serious. This is serious for Europe. This is serious for America. This is serious. So we need to get together. We need to come together on a solution, on a way to support peace, not a ceasefire. Yeah, you need a ceasefire, but you need peace, true peace. And that's what he was looking to do. And think about the people he pulled together in that room. And just the mere fact that they were sitting there trying to come up with a true and reasonable solution to this. And, you've got the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, sitting there. And now he's getting to hear what these people are willing to support and not support with him. He can't do it alone, and he knows it. He may be a little crazy. That's stupid. So, Merkel wants the German Chancellor, Merz, he wants a ceasefire at the next meeting. That's the first thing he wants. And it's like, you know what? You're not in control. If you could have fixed this, you would have already stepped out and done it. You've already would have put the solutions on the table. You would have pulled the European countries together to make it happen. So I'm not really interested in what he has to say. But I am interested in Prime Minister Meloni. She was just great. And God forbid if they let her tear into him, I can only imagine what that would be like. So, again, Donald Trump, President Trump, God bless you for what you're doing. God bless you for trying to make peace pretty much across the planet. What do we have now? We got 6 or 7 agreements, ceasefire agreements, peace agreements, in countries that have been at it for decades. And I think Biden, what is it? He put a cap on his day at 2 o'clock? What do they call it? They put a lid on it at 2? I mean, my God, if he could have stayed awake for 6 hours a day, he might have got a lot done. You just never know. All right. Again, being called out for, white supremacy, white power. If they couldn't use that term, if we banned that term, would the Democrats actually be able to speak anywhere? I got to ask, seriously. Well, Democrat Rep. LaMonica McIver, she went after Trump claiming his use of Liberation Day is a secret code for white power. But what she forgot, or a matter of fact, they probably don't even listen to him either, but what they forgot is that Governor Newsom uses that term and has used that term several times. And they love playing games with his words. They love playing with his words. I just find it, amazing. So she launched into some bizarre smear campaign this week. She accused Trump of using the phrase Liberation Day as a hidden dog whistle. That's right, because, we all respond to dog whistles. You know how that works. Let's take a listen. It's a quick one.
When he says, it's Liberation Day and all of these things, those are, ways of him saying, it's white power. It's what I want to do. Those are racist remarks. His number one targets are cities that are led by Black mayors.
That's right.
His number one targets are cities
right.
that are sanctuary cities that, support immigration.
They don't support immigration. They support criminals. But that's not the point. Anyway, but again, just love how this and this white radio host is sitting there agreeing with her. Now, okay, I know I'm on the other side of the aisle from her, but I still would have been sitting there saying, okay, explain to me exactly how is that a whistle for white power? Exactly how is that me saying, Liberation Day? How is that exactly me pushing my white power on you? When she talks about the sanctuary cities, this is a swipe at the sanctuary cities. This is a swipe at cities that support immigration. I grew up in a city that supported immigration, if you would. I grew up in the north end of Boston. Yeah, I'm a Yankee, I'm sorry. But I grew up in the north end of Boston. And they were all Italian immigrants there. Barely could speak English, but spoke English. They got their citizenship the proper way. They came the proper way. Kind of hard to walk across the Atlantic Ocean, I get it, but they came the proper way. So, I mean, there is a right way to do this, and constantly promoting illegal immigration doesn't help. Not at all. The First Amendment's under attack, but did you know you can help protect your constitutional rights just by using your cell phone? Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They'll always support freedom of speech and freedom of religion, and that's why Todd is proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you access to all 3 major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without, funding those other people. When you switch to the Patriot Mobile, you support organizations like First Liberty Alliance, Defending Freedom, and Concerned Women for America, and so many more. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their teams will help you find the best plan for you. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. You get free activation when you use the offer code TODD. Join Todd. Make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Todd. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd. And always appreciate your time with us here this morning. Tom Del Beccaro is going to join us after the break. He's an acclaimed author, speaker, former chairman of the California Republican Party. His book, Lessons on the American Civilization. Also, you got to get his book, The Divided Era, How We Got Here, and Keys to America's Reconciliation. You know what? he's got a lot more optimism than I do. We are a deeply divided country. I think prayer has to be a big part of it. I know Todd would probably agree with me, or I agree with him on this. You really want to make sure that you know, whether you like Trump or not, frankly and honestly, I'm sure y'all do, you need to pray for him. All right, be back with you in just a few minutes. Don't go far.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
We are back at it. Joe Messina in for Todd Starnes. You are listening to the Todd Starnes Show. And hopefully you've got your alarm set so you listen to it every day. You'll get so much information. I think it's great. I really do. I listen myself. Again, being behind in time and having other things going on, I catch him whenever I can. Or I grab the podcast. If you head up to his website, you can always pull down the podcast. And grab the app. The app will help you listen to the show any place you are in the country, any place you are, you're trying to listen to it. Maybe you're in a crowd, you're waiting to get your driver's license, your legal driver's license, and you might have some earbuds in. You can at least listen to the show and get informed, because that's what it's about. It's about really just getting informed. Speaking about getting informed, Tom Del Beccaro, he's an acclaimed author, speaker, and former chairman of the California Republican Party. His book, Lessons of the American Civilization, you can check it out at Amazon. Check out all his books at Amazon. A very smart man, and he's got his pulse on what's going on. And, Tom, thanks for being with me today.
Great to be on the show. I'll listen to Todd here and on Newsmax.
Yeah, I've been listening to Todd for years, so this is a real honor for me to be hosting his show today. So, Tom, listen, you and I agree on a lot of things when it comes to the Democrat Party. And your recent piece on Don't Be Fooled, the Democrat Party knows exactly what it wants to be and how it wants to get there. Why don't you enlighten us?
Well, listen, I've been following politics, commentating for decades now, and I've listened to all the so-called pundits tell me that the Democrats don't know who they want to be. And I think that's just not true. The reality for the Democrats is displayed on how their elected officials vote, how they view themselves, and they're not confused. So let's start with the Gallup poll. 45% of Democrats want them to be more liberal than they are today. Another 22% is happy with how liberal they are today. So that's 67% of Democrats either want, and this is Democrat voters, either want them to be more liberal or are happy where they are. So to me, that doesn't demonstrate a lot of confusion as to where the party should be. Then let's look at the Democrat elected officials in Congress and their voting records. And if you look at their voting records, whether it is against the Laken Riley Act, whether they're disputes with Trump over immigration, whether the fact that they are against the law and order aspects, if you look at their 100% voting record against Trump, then you must see that the actual elected officials where they are pretty liberal. So when you combine those two things, and I don't know about you, I didn't have AOC as the most prolific fundraiser of 2025 for the Democrats.
That's right.
I wrote a piece at Fox where I talked about how the Karen Bass, Johnson in Chicago, and now Mandami in New York, they are defining the party. The DNC chairmen just said that, we're a Big Tent party, so we'll take Mondami, who is a communist, we'll take him in. And finally, I'll stop filibustering by J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, who's running for president. What did he do? He just signed a bill giving aid to those in Chicago, in the state of Illinois, illegally, and he proclaimed just last week that we need to stop apologizing because we like where we are as a party. That's one of their biggest leaders. So it's not that the Democrats don't know who they want to be. It turns out they do. It's just not popular at this moment.
Yeah, they could not sell that right now. More and more Democrats in the polls that I've seen, and actually in a lot of the videos that I've seen online at several platforms, more and more Dems, not so much registering as Republicans, but they're voting Republican. They like what Trump's doing. When you talk to some of the people in the D.C. area, lifelong Democrats, they're enjoying the security in just a couple of days. Tom, what was there? Almost 300 arrests. And over half of those were criminal, illegal aliens. I don't mean people that just came over the border, those that have committed heinous acts here in this country. And yet the Democrats are fighting to stop it all.
The Democrats in office, there are, as I point out in my Substack article, Don't Be Fooled, I point out that there are a minority of Democrats who want to be want the party to be more moderate. You have Doug Schoen, who used to work for Clinton.
Oh, yeah?
You have James Carville, who used to work for Clinton, who want them to concentrate on the economic issues and law and order issues. But they're not the ones driving the party. AOC went around the country with Bernie Sanders. No moderate has done that. So, yes, there are some who think the party should be more rational. But you and I both know, been in party politics a long time, that the base drives the party. And it's the Democrat base is 2/3 of which want them to be more liberal or like where they are. And you can get those stats at my article on Substack.
Seriously, who ever thought that AOC and Bernie Sanders would be the Chicago Earth, Wind, and Fire of, of 2025's, circuit? Seriously, they are drawing crowds, none like Trump's, I get it, but they're drawing a lot of the young crowds. And, it scares me because you and I have talked about this too, is Obama was able to gin up the youth to get out there and vote. This fellow Modabi in New York City, he's ginning up the youth to get out there. Whether they actually go vote or not is a whole different story. And on that note, do you really believe that the Dems want Mondami in New York City?
Well, they're in a rock and a hard place. You have Hakeem Jeffries, who hasn't given him the endorsement. But the reality is he's going to win with ranked choice voting in New York. The Democrat Cuomo running as an independent has a lot of baggage, for which they don't want to sign up. So he's going to wind up winning, whether, in the immortal words of Gavin Newsom, whether they like it or not. And so a good percentage of the Democrats buy what he has to say. I mean, how else do you explain Elizabeth Warren going there and wholeheartedly standing behind him? So the Gallup poll, 67% want them to be more liberal or like how liberal they are. So, yes, the base wants him, but the leadership doesn't quite know what to do. But then again, if you look at their voting record, it's not far from him.
No, it's not. And a new poll that just came out yesterday shows Mamdani's surge to be the New York City mayor. His numbers are rising like crazy. He is amassing a war chest that's going to help him. It's going to help him make it through. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not the dumbest guy in the room, but I really don't get it. New York's been through enough stuff. They've had enough headache. And now you got this guy stepping up or, being part of the equation.
Well, there was him winning the primary was sort of a sneak attack. They put up, Adams had been pushed out of the party.
Right.
Cuomo was a lackluster candidate. So there's a witch's brew here, and now they're going to pay for it. And if you look at the neighboring state of New Jersey, where there's the governor's race, the polls have tightened from a 22-point Democrat lead all the way down to 8. One poll had it at 6 because of the Mondami effect. They're afraid of him. Real quick before I lose you, Gavin Newsom, I'm predicting this could be the end of his career because he's choosing to do this redistricting, but only 39% approve of doing this, and 2/3 are against this in some polls. So he's taking a big risk to show that he can stand up to Trump. But if he fails, what will the nation think of him if he can't even deliver his own state?
You know, I got to tell you, we've got about 5 more minutes, but I got to tell you something. You look at of what Newsom is doing with Trump. I kind of see it like the little Chihuahua, nipping at the heels of the Great Dane. He's using all these terms, and I just keep wanting to look at him going, how tough can you be with that howdy doody face? I mean, he's not a tough man. You know him, and I know of him through mutual friends. He's not a tough guy, is he?
No, he isn't. And also in my podcast, Politics and Perspective, I had State Senator Tony Strickland on, who served under 5 Democrat governors in California, and Newsom is the most aloof. He doesn't mix it up even with Democrats. So, but nevertheless, so far he has moved himself back into 3rd place behind Buttigieg and Harris for the Democrats because they want someone who will fight. But do you want someone who's fight who can't bring results? So this is a very high-stake gamble for him doing this redistricting, which, I was the last chairman in California to qualify an initiative, so I know something about this. Initiatives that don't start in the 60% approval level don't pass in California. Well, this is starting in the 39% level. How does he expect it to go up from there, especially since there's, coordinated opposition? And quite frankly, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is viewed by many voters in California as a moderate, says that he's going to fight this full throat. Okay, where's his support coming? This is a high-risk gamble, and this could be the end for Gavin Newsom because he's going out with poor ratings in California, and he may screwing himself up for the president.
And he's got Charlie Munger's working against him too. Now Charlie's been out of politics for a little while anyhow, but he's willing to throw some big bucks behind this to keep Newsom from making this happen. I'm hearing that the CTA, California Teachers Association, one of the most financially strong unions in the state, is also going to back Newsom in this case. So it should be interesting, Tom. Watch how it plays out.
The League of Women
anyway.
Voters is against it, though. Imagine that.
Oh, wow. It's a big deal. Hey, before we do lose you, why don't you tell people where they get your books and what books you have out there?
Just go to tomdell.com, TOMDell.com, and my media site is Political Vanguard, and you can catch all of my things there, including that don't be fooled by the Democrats saying they don't know who they want to be. They do.
All right, Tom, God bless for what you do, man. I appreciate you coming on with me today.
All right, take care. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Tom Del Beccaro, you can check him out, like you said, tomdell.com. Got a great understanding of American world history, at that matter, too. And many of his books, or the books that he's written around that, talks about how governments fail, what causes them to fail, what direction it goes in. Sitting around with a bunch of hardcore, good, solid Republican men, and we were having lunch, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And one of the things we talked about is, how did we get here? How did we get to this situation where we're in this kind of trouble, if you would? And it really boiled down to, we got done with the conversation about an hour long. We all, as you can imagine, we all had something to say. It was the 9 of us there. But ultimately it was, if you pardon the term, we were sitting around fat, dumb, and happy. We sat around and said, who would want communism? Who would want socialism, right? Who the heck would think that they were a girl if they were a boy and vice versa? No, it's never going to happen. So we never did anything proactively to get in the way of that, to speak to it, to help out, whatever it is. And that's what you need to start doing. I mean, some of you may or may not want to do it, but when you think about this, school boards, you saw what happened with school boards. You see what happened with city councils and all of that. And I tell my people on my show, you can just head over to joemessina.com, check me out if you would. It's real simple, joemessina.com. But I always talk about people getting involved locally, and if your heart's in education, you love kids, you want to make sure they're doing well. And remember, I know it's a cliche, but it's so true. The children are our future. You got to pay attention to what they're being taught, what they're being told, and what they believe. And you grandparents, parents do, but you grandparents have such an influence on your grandchildren. Get involved in the school district, even if it means going to the meetings. And you could find those online or calling the local school and find out where the school district meets. Just pay attention to what they're doing. Voice your opinion. Don't get up there and start yelling at them. But get up there and voice your opinion. Tell them why you think something is wrong, right, whatever. Or maybe even give them kudos for doing the right thing. For being strong. That goes so much further than some who do get up there and simply yell at them. And when you build relationships one-on-one with some of those Board of Education members, now when you get up to speak, you have some credibility. They know you. They know a little bit about your family. They know you. Maybe you've been in the community for 30 years. You raised your 4 kids, and now your 6 grandchildren. You're building relationships because in politics, to a degree, big degree, that's what it's about. It's about relationships. City council, the same thing. Maybe you don't have any kids. You got no real heart for education. Go to city council meetings. See what they're doing over there. Because they're controlling your how much building goes on in your city. They're controlling the in most cases, not all, but in most cases, water prices, cable price, all that stuff. Find out what they do. Again, make relationships with them as well. Because people, if you leave them, I can't tell you. I am an elected official in the area that I live in to a school board. And conservatives, we tend to get complacent with things. And I got voted in. I did really well, so I got voted in. A lot of conservatives voted for me, helped me out. And it was really interesting to me because I couldn't find any of them when things got a little hot. When issues came up and they were a little hot. And when I speak to some of them, what they all say is the same thing. Well, we trust you. We voted for you. We figured you knew what you were doing and you would get it done. No, they need help. Right? Once you elect them in, you're not done. They need help. So again, give it some thought. Read your local paper or wherever you get your information locally, and see how you can get involved. And I don't care what it is, whether it's with a nonprofit, city council, school board meetings, whatever it is. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. I'm Joe Messina, your guest host for today. Thanks for putting up with me. I want to thank Todd for giving me the opportunity. We'll be back with you in just a little bit.
Making radio great again. The Todd Starnes Radio Show.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot prayer, and a Liberty lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarnes.com.
Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer, trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement, and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653. Or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Starnes sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/
the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
We are back. Joe Messina filling in for Todd Starnes. You are listening to the Todd Starnes Show. Appreciate your time with me this morning. You know, I am greatly honored to be on the show today, or filling in for Todd. Got big shoes to fill, as they say. Give us a call, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. We'll be taking calls in the next hour. Also in the next hour, I've got Brad Dacus. He is the founder of Pacific Justice Institute. They, I think they have like 32 offices across the country, and they protect your rights, your religious rights, your human rights across the country. They've defended pastors and teachers and students, for that matter, and parents who simply wanted information on what was going on with their students. And apparently here in California, that's a massive no-no. And he's up in Sacramento fighting for the rights of your kids. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. Don't go far.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. You know, ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
A senior at Grand Island High School in New York wanted to decorate her parking spot with a Bible reference and a cross. The decoration is part of a long-standing tradition for teens. The school district encourages seniors to express themselves, but they can't express themselves with Bible verses. Sabrina Steffens was told by school leaders her design had been rejected because she mentioned phrases like God is love. She also included John 3:16 and a cross. The school explained the parking spot was on school property and therefore she could not mention anything about her Christian faith. They also told her that if they approved a cross, they would also have to approve a satanic symbol. Well, First Liberty Institute's representing Sabrina, they say public schools must be neutral when it comes to religion, and that means the school cannot infringe upon a student's faith, and it's unconstitutional to stifle religious messages. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute. Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the Todd Starnes Show. I'm Joe Messina, your guest host for today. Appreciate you spending some time with me, and I want to thank Todd for giving me the opportunity to fill in for him today. I'd like to say we're coming to you live from Venezuela, also known as California. And I say that because some of you who and I'm sure nobody who listens to Todd believes this, but some of you are watching that used car salesman known as, what's his name, Governor Newsom out of California. Tries to make it look like everything here is wonderful. You know what? I had to buy a generator because we don't always have electricity 30 days a month here in California. Right, we've got some of the highest gas taxes. We have a bullet train to nowhere. Actually, we don't even have the bullet train. We don't have anything. We have some slabs of cement that they tell us they're going to eventually put tracks on, and we're only like already something that started off at just under $30 billion is now up over $100 billion. But you know, what can go wrong? The government's overseeing it, right? Give us a call, 901-260-5926, 901-260-5926. How would you guys feel if anybody, and I mean anybody, you people you don't even know, could show up at your school, or your child's school, I should say, and pick up your child just by filling out a piece of paper for all intents and purposes? I'm not making it up, and I'm not even over-exaggerating. This is a new law being pushed through, or bill being pushed through. It's called AB 495. And basically, in a nutshell, what it would do is that your child could be picked up by a stranger with just a signature on a affidavit and a driver's license, some kind of ID, right? They call it the Family Preparedness Plan. Who could be against that? And it's built as a way to ensure that children are cared for if their parents are suddenly detained or deported. Right, because I'd want just anybody picking up my kids or grandkids, wouldn't you? Well, listen, a fighter for your rights, as I said earlier, Brad Dacus, founder of Pacific Justice Institute, joins me. He's actually in Sacramento today in a rally against this bill. Brad, thanks for being with me.
Oh, thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure.
So you're up in Sacramento today, I believe, because there is a rally against this bill. First of all, you shouldn't have to be in Sacramento. we shouldn't actually be pushing against this bill. In case I screwed it up, why don't you tell people what this bill is all about?
Yeah, this is outrageous. For people who know about Pacific Justice Institute, we have 36 offices coast to coast. We've been around for almost 30 years. We right now have over 280 cases in active litigation. That said, in all this time, I have never in my life seen a more direct assault on the rights of parents than AB 495. So right now, social workers are taking children. That's the status quo. We have a great antidote for that, our 12 steps to protect your child. That's on our website. But that's bad enough. Then we have California has a kidnapper protection law, and that allows in California you can kidnap a child and not have anything brought against you if the reason was to help distort the child's gender. This is the worst. 495, though, is the worst if this becomes law, because this, as you said, allows any stranger for any reason. They can come, show an affidavit that they filled out. Doesn't have to be signed by a judge. They go there, they go to the school, and they can pull the child out. There's no required background check. There's no, examining the person to see if they actually had a mentor relationship or not. It's just whatever the person says on paper. They don't have to be a relative. And what's really awful is that parents they're not even required to have an attempt to contact parents. So you have mom and dad at home. They're not being deported. They're regular people, as U.S. citizens. They can lose their child. So every parent of every child is threatened in the state of California if this becomes law.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Anybody and people, he's not exaggerating. And if this Governor Newsom becomes president for any reason, or even gets a position in the cabinet in any way, shape, manner, or form, your kids, your family, for all intents and purposes, will be in peril. This guy's trying to pass bills or had his legislature try to pass bills that takes more and more and more parental rights away. They're really, squeezing hard. What does the rally look like today? I mean, you got some good coverage there. You got some good people there.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We have people all across California. We get it, and parents get it, and they're rallying because we need to make sure that this thing is stopped. People need to understand that we have two political parties in this country. One of them is standing up for the rights of all parents. The other one is trying to diminish and destroy the rights of parents. And this legislation is a classic example of what they would like to do across the United States. So this is why this is so important. And parents, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they need to stand up. And it looks like we're going to have a good turnout. Also, I want to take note, it's not just parents who have kids in public schools. This legislation would allow Mr. Stranger to take his affidavit and go to a private school and take that child. And even parents who are homeschooling, if their child, say, is having music lessons, piano lessons somewhere, Mr. Stranger shows up, boom, he could take the children. So it's a real serious, dangerous threat. And I'd like to think that if it goes on the governor's desk, Governor Gavin Newsom will understand that if he signs something like this, he's just written off a lot of parents when he runs for president in 2028.
Oh, Governor Newsom, though, right? I mean, you've seen what he's signed, what he's done up here, and again, you got to look at this. Now, I heard last night, or I read a note from last night that basically said that they are tabling the bill today, or they are suspending it for the moment, and a bunch of people I was watching said, "Oh, look, isn't this great?" I go, "No, don't do that." Because this is how they nail you, right? They're telling you, yeah, okay, we hear your outcry. We're going to put it on hold and rethink it. This will come back with a vengeance at some point in time, won't it? Right?
Oh, yes. And when they see that the political exposure is reduced, the news media coverage of it is reduced, this is what they've done before. They can pull it any time out of suspension at any time. So it's not dead. It's still there. It's just right behind the door. all they have to do is open the door, they vote on it, and that's it. So it's a maneuver on their part. I'd like to think they're seeing the light. That Gavin Newsom picked up the phone and said, "Oh shoot, this is gonna cost me. You guys, suspend it." But the bottom line is they can come back, and we need to be very outspoken, and that's why so many are still coming up this morning and to be at the rally at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, his best move would to let them push through it and then go to a press conference and say, I'm going to veto this. This is the most egregious thing I have ever seen. Brad, can you hang on with us till after the break?
Oh, you bet.
Okay. Old Glory Bank, America is back, and it's time to stand with the bank that shares your values. Old Glory Bank, they support hardworking Americans, small businesses, and your constitutional rights. No cancel culture, no woke nonsense, just a bank that believes in faith, freedom, and the flag. Join the movement today at oldglorybank.com/Starnes. That's oldglorybank.com/Starnes and be part of something bigger. Trust the FDIC insured bank that was created to protect your privacy, security, and liberty of Old Glory. I mean, I got to tell you something, man. So many people were, I won't say wiped out because that just sounds too bad, but so many people had to scramble to do business a different and better way because of this. And it's just wrong. Flat out wrong. You're listening to Todd Starnes Show. I'm Joe Messina, your guest host today. Thanks for being with me. Don't go far. A lot more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNES to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNES. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNES.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Todd Starnes Show. Joe Messina, your guest host for today. I want to thank Todd for letting me sit in for him. We've got a lot to get to, a lot going on this planet. Actually, a lot going on in the U.S. here today. Brad Dacus joins us. He's the founder of Pacific Justice Institute, and I love this guy. I love the work that he does. He's definitely doing God's work, protecting your rights, your religious rights, your parental rights, your child, just protecting your rights, period, which is what we need to do. And it's sad that we've got to this point, which basically somebody can walk in, and nobody is embellishing here. This is the truth. Somebody can walk into your kid's school, sign an affidavit that isn't, as he said, isn't signed by a judge, isn't really witnessed by anybody except the person that you're handing it to. You give them a driver's license. You don't have to be a relative. The child doesn't even have to know you, and they can walk out with your kid. Brad Dacus joins me, founder of Pacific Justice Institute. Brad, again, thanks for being with me.
Oh, it's great to be on the program. Thank you.
You know, this would be an episode of The Twilight Zone if it wasn't so real. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, I like that analogy because it does seem like it's some crazy thing of some weird society way in the future. But no, it's happening right now. And like I said before, we already have social workers taking several thousand children a year from parents, sometimes just because of their faith and their beliefs regarding not favoring their child's gender being distorted. We already have that in California and across the country, actually. And once again, we have a great resource for that called 12 Steps to Protect Your Children, downloaded for free on our website, pji.org, pji.org. But also the kidnapping bill I mentioned. In California law says you can kidnap a child in Dallas, Atlanta, Detroit.
Yep.
And if you get the child back to California, then you're safe, and you're not arrested, and the child isn't given back to the parents. So we already have crazy stuff, and it's going to become national if Gavin Newsom does get elected. But this AB 495 is extremely broad. In fact, it not only applies to, say, human traffickers, and we have those all over California, I know, and pedophiles, but also an estranged spouse. The media hasn't talked about this. So let's say you have a spouse that the courts say, hey, you're dangerous, you're mentally unstable, whatever, you stay away from the kids. You know, that estranged spouse can get an affidavit, go to that school, and get that child, and then get on an airplane, go south of the border, never to be seen again. That's what this allows to do. This is also the Human Traffickers, the Pedophiles, Estranged Spouse Protection Act. That's what it's protecting, not children, not families.
Wow. Just amazing. All right, you know how I love to. Brad is a regular on my show, and I love throwing stuff at him, and I don't tell him I'm going to do it. And I found this one interesting. Connecticut teacher has been placed on leave after displaying a wooden crucifix in her classroom. Now, it's not from floor to ceiling. Okay, it is a small crucifix. She's a Catholic. Does not talk about her religious beliefs in the school. They're in Connecticut, which is not religious friendly to begin with. They put her on leave, paid leave, till they decide what to do with her. What rights does she have, if any, in this case? I know it's a little touchy because it is a cross.
Yeah, and it's true. We have we're Pacific Justice Institute. We got the state of Texas, actually in Louisiana, to pass a law putting the Ten Commandments on the wall, and that's a statement of our history and heritage. That's the context of it.
Right.
So I think in the end, the Supreme Court's a good chance they're going to uphold that. The crucifix is a little different. It's more of a theology, if it's in the context that it has a crucifix and then Star of David and a number of different symbols or something, or if she put it in her own private little work office, usually next to the classroom is her own personal work office, her own personal station area, that would clearly be protected. But it's the context of, is it educational in nature, like the Ten Commandments next to the Magna Carta, or is it proselytizing? Is it understood to be just her speech versus the state speech? The court, they argued whether or not a teacher could read her Bible while the other students are doing their quiet reading assignments. The court seemed to imply that, yeah, they could. That's her speech. That's her expression. She's not requiring it on the students. So the counter argument would be, just because she has it on the wall doesn't mean she's requiring children to believe it. That's the same argument that people putting rainbow flags in their classroom use. They just say, "Oh, I'm just here. It's here because this is who I am," and of course that has a lot of objections from parents who don't want that kind of an influence on their children.
Oh yeah, and the noise that's made after that is just amazing. But again, some people will remember, it's been a long time, but in LA County, Los Angeles County, California, they had on the county seal, they had a cross on the building because the county was built by Catholic missionaries, and a lot of the buildings, a lot of the religious buildings, community buildings, were all either churches, community centers, that kind of stuff. And the left put up atheists, and the left put up started screaming about it, and the county acquiesced and pulled the crosses off the county seals. 'Cause that wasn't cheap to do either, but that was historically correct. They probably could have won that case in court, could they not?
Yes, they could have. And I remember I was behind the scenes trying to say this and encourage them to challenge this, but they were outnumbered, and you can't represent a client that doesn't want representation. So
that's
they
true.
Caved in. But that's clearly educational. Now let's change the facts a little. Let's say the teacher has a crucifix on her desk, and it's not something that the students see or going to their class, sitting. It just happens to be in her desk with her other personal things, personal pictures and things. That might be looked at differently because that's more of her private space. It's not something that children are seeing all the time. So these are the kind of distinctions that the courts could look at to see, is the government effectively endorsing religion? The case where the coach knelt and prayed at the 50-yard line, that was after school hours. It was understood to be his speech. A reasonable person wouldn't assume that to be the school endorsing religion. If it's sitting on the desk of the teacher versus plastered on the wall, that could be a distinction the courts may look at.
All right, real quick, tell us about PJI and how they can help you.
You bet. Well, we have Pacific Justice Institute. People are going to be happy to hear this. We have 36 offices coast to coast, from Miami to Boston to Seattle, Hawaii, Houston, Chicago, you name it, California. So if people want to keep up with our many cases, or they need free legal assistance to deal with religious freedom, parents' rights, sanctity of life, or they'd like to attend our big gala with Eric Trump on October 18th in Orange County, California, they go to our website, pji.org. P for Pacific, J for Justice, I for Institute.org, pji.org. tji.org, tji.org.
Well, Brad, listen, God bless. I'll check in with you later to find out what's going on with the rally and how you made out up there. But they're sneaky, man. They're going to put that on hold, but that doesn't mean much of anything. All right, God bless. We'll catch up with you later.
You got it. Thank you, Joe.
All right. I'm Joe Messina, your guest host in today for Todd Starnes. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. Really, don't go far. Hang out. Heat up your coffee. Make your sandwich. You got a few minutes anyhow. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNES and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted?
we push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Todd Starnes Show. I am not Todd Starnes. I'm Joe Messina, guest host for today. Appreciate the time you're spending with me. You can a couple things going on. First, I want to say thank you to Todd for allowing me to fill in for him today. Very big honor for me. And you could also head over to the website, right? And the reason I say that is there's some great stories there you could read and check out. You can also grab the podcast, pull down the podcast, take a listen. If you missed the show, you missed a portion of the show, it's a great place to grab it and catch up on what's going on. You can also pull down the app, and the app would allow you to, I find that to be a real good tool. So if you have to run around and maybe get out of the area and your station that you were listening to doesn't carry it or can't get out that far, you can always pull it up on your phone and listen to the rest of the show. So it's a great way, again, for you to stay connected, stay in touch, and truly know what's going on. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it very much today. Also, I want to let you know that, if you love this country and you're concerned about the direction we're headed in, let me tell you something. There's something you can do right now about it. Join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. They're the conservative alternative to AARP, and they're standing up for the values that build this nation: faith, family, freedom, and just common sense. Wouldn't that be nice to bring back? AMAC members get some great benefits: deep discounts on travel, insurance, and prescription drugs. Now, exclusive member resources and a subscription to the AMAC magazine, one of the best publications out there for patriotic Americans. And you know the best part is? You can join for as little as $1.20 a month with a 5-year membership. Go to amac.us/Starnes. That's AMAC, AMAC.us/Starnes, and join the fight to keep America strong. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep America strong. Our young people, you heard me talking about it earlier. You want to make sure your young people really know the real history of this country, really what's going on. Because there is so much that they're learning in school that you have to unlearn them. I don't know any other way to put it. You got to pretty much unlearn them. We were doing a piece earlier. I talked earlier about Old Glory Bank, and as you know, Todd is a supporter of them. They are a supporter of the show. And now, in the recent interviews and some of the recent testimonies that have been taken, bank executives are coming forward and blowing the whistle on how Obama and Biden pressured them to debank conservatives, to debank gun companies, to debank companies that were conservative. Oh, but that was a conspiracy, right? We weren't. Can somebody, you can call in if you want to. Let me know which conspiracy was wrong. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Give us a holler. Let me know. So in the wake of President Donald Trump's executive order outlawing debanking, that doesn't happen. Why did he do that? Well, it's such a waste of time, the Democrats say, right? Those pressures were very, very real. When a regulator gives you a suggestion, it's not a suggestion, it's an order. Look, the regulator is as scary to banks as the IRS is to the average person. When you see a letter from the IRS or your phone's ringing and it has IRS on it, the Department of Treasury, right? It's almost like that phone all of a sudden shocks your fingers. You got to put it down. You're looking at the phone going, should I answer that? Well, that's how the regulators, the banking people, that's how they feel about the regulators. So now, for some of you who don't know, banking is the practice of banks closing accounts or denying services to individuals or businesses, often with no explanation. They just shut you down, don't tell you anything. It's like Facebook, right? They kill your page, don't tell you anything. The practice originated as part of the federal anti-money laundering, anti-money laundering laws and regulations. An entity can be debanked after its transactions are marked suspicious, which is great. I got to be nice. You know why? Because you know all those suspicious transactions done by the Biden LLCs? What happened to this protection then? Come on, dude. If you don't giggle, you're going to cry, right? The Fox News Digital, they spoke with two executives at a leading U.S. bank who asked to remain anonymous. Gee, I wonder why. The executive said that the ambiguity in the federal law was exploited by the regulators under the Obama and Biden administrations in order to pursue political objectives. According to one executive, banks were pressured to deny services to certain industries as part of ready for this? This is great. Part of Operation Choke Point. God. And that was under Obama. Under Biden, it was Operation Choke Point 2.0. They basically picked up where they left off. I find this just amazing, truly amazing. When there's ambiguity in the law, beauty is one eye of the beholder, and for a long time, the beholder was Obama and Biden, according to this official. House Oversight Committee reportedly found that Operation Choke Point, a DOJ task force whose aim was to choke out legal companies disfavored by the Obama and Biden regimes. Good name for them, right? Now, Trump ended Operation Choke Point during his first term. But a House Financial Services Committee hearing last week heard accusations that the former President, Joe Biden, had rebooted it. Tell me they're not the same. I mean, maybe Obama was. I don't have any hard proof that Obama was calling all the shots. I believe he was, along with others in his previous cabinet. Yeah, I think to a big degree it was simply Obama was making the calls, and you had that shadow White House team, if you would, that was actually Obama's team. Again, can't prove it. Just a gut feeling based on the policies that were put forth, the EOs that were signed, the laws that were pushed. I think it's a big deal. So the only one that claims that they didn't do anything was J.P. Morgan. They say they did not acquiesce. You know what? I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about banking, for God's sakes. You look at my checking account, you'll know I don't know enough about banking. So Trump entitled it guaranteeing fair banking for all Americans, which he signed last week. He promised to ban banks from denying services to a customer based off their political views. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Isn't that the way it was always supposed to be? Seriously. You know, I'm lost for words because I didn't know that I was growing up in a communist country. Not a clue. And it shouldn't be like this. We shouldn't have to worry about this stuff. We shouldn't have to worry about our phones being bugged. But, some of you say I'm not going to be followed or any of that. Let me tell you what. Since the day you got a credit card, actually, since the day you got a telephone, they know who you're calling, right? How many calls you made to who, where, how, when, and why. Your credit card, another one. They could get information on you fairly easily. So they've been tracking you for a long time. But you shouldn't be afraid of simple stuff. You shouldn't be afraid of doing something that's during the normal course of business. Anyway, give us a call, 901-260-5926. 901-260-5926. Again, as I said, head up to the website. You really want to do it. So you can grab the app, you can download the podcast, you can read the stories. A lot of good stuff happening there. A lot of breaking news there as well. All right, I got a funny for you before we go to break. I don't even know. I checked this story out. It's true. I don't know how it's true, but it's true. A Colorado man was mauled after attempting to join the Wyoming wolf pack. And you have to sit there and say to yourself, seriously? This can't be real. I had to go look it up. And so in Jacksonville, Wyoming, a self-described wolf furry from Fort Collins is recovering in a Wyoming hospital after attempting to integrate himself into an actual pack of wild wolves near Togowe Pass. According to Wyoming Conservative Services, the 28-year-old Lupus Moonhow is his name, legally known as Brian Sanders, was spotted crawling on all fours into the wolf pack. And somehow they knew he wasn't one of them. Anyway, I don't know. Was this survival of the fittest? Is that what this was all about? Because I can't imagine. All right, you're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. I'm not laughing at the guy's demise. I can't believe that somebody would do something like this. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. I'm Joe Messina, filling in for him today as the guest host. And please, come on back. I got a lot more crazy stories to talk about coming up in the next hour. We'll be joined by Evan Sayet. Great guy. Want you to get to know him. We'll be back in a few minutes.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Grandma's Kitchen, where laughter and warm meals mingle. Each bite is a journey through generations. As you gather around the table, complement the meal with Balance of Nature fruits and veggie supplements. Our veggie supplement, made from 15 ingredients like garlic, onion, and cayenne pepper, can easily be opened and added to your favorite dishes, like homemade soups or dips. Not to mention our fruit supplement, which is made from 16 ingredients like banana, strawberries, and mango, making it a great addition to your homemade smoothies. So the next time you gather with family, enjoy Balance of Nature supplements as an addition to your favorite dishes. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your preferred set as a new preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Todd.
There's a quiet revolution happening in America, and it's not coming from tanks or tyrants. It's creeping into classrooms, corporate boardrooms, and even some church pulpits. Live Not by Lies is a powerful new docuseries by Angel Studios based on Rod Dreyer's best-selling book. It exposes the rise of soft totalitarianism in the West by drawing striking parallels with the communist regimes of the past. Now, the series features brave men and women who live under real oppression. They see the warning signs, and they're sounding the alarm. Now, this isn't a doom and gloom paranoia. It is firsthand wisdom from people who know what it's like to live without freedom. And it's a wake-up call for every American who cares about faith, family, and liberty. If you believe in preserving truth in an age of lies, well, now's the time to pay attention. Live Not by Lies is streaming now only on Angel Guild. Join today by visiting angel.com/Starnes. That's angel.com/Starnes.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
We are back. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. I feel very comfortable on this show. Todd Starnes show. That's music that I kind of grew up with. So it brings back memories. I don't know if they're all great ones, but it brings back memories nonetheless. Welcome to the Todd Starnes show. I am your guest host, Joe Messina. Live from what I'm calling North Venezuela, also known as California. It is a dictatorship in this state to a big degree. The Democrats have total control of the government. We've got a Governor Newsom, a dictator-in-chief. And whatever he believes to be true, no matter what it is, it's true. Just ask him, he'll tell you. Again, we have some of the highest gas prices. The highest gas taxes. The bulletless train to nowhere. Right? We don't have consistent electricity. We're supposed to be all about it in this state, all about technology and everything else. It doesn't seem to work out so well. If you got any ideas on thoughts on Governor Newsom, let me know. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. As I said before, head up to the website and go ahead and pull down the app. You can that way there you can listen live. You can pull down the podcast. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. That would be much appreciated. Seriously. I mean, stay involved, stay engaged, and stay informed. And I tell people all the time, pick a couple of shows that you can trust. You can trust the person like Todd. So you know that the information you're getting is true. And you don't have to go beating your brains out to find. Hey, you should check us out. We all make mistakes. But in all reality, again, you don't want to have to check out every word that's been said, right? All right, so we've got, news is breaking all over the place, and I do appreciate it. I don't know how some of you feel about these smartphone issues. I've been an advocate of not giving them to kids, especially young kids. And as I told you earlier, some of you may have caught it. I've been elected to one of the largest school districts in California. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Oh. And one of the things we've been working on for the last few years, or I've been working on for the last few years, and finally made it happen, is banning smartphones from the classroom. And what's really funny is when you see the emails coming in when you start talking about it from the board level on how it helps and saves your kids, you can tell who sends you emails that are against it. You can tell by the comments they make and the way they say certain things. It's quite interesting, I got to tell you. And now there's more and more studies coming forward that say giving young kids smartphones. Now, look, if you really feel like you have to get a hold of your child, if you really feel like when your kid's at school, you want him or her to have a way to get in touch with you, or you with them, get them a flip phone. They're still available. And they can still text off those flip phones. It takes a little bit more, but they can. But give them a smartphone, giving them access to the internet, we've come to find out is extremely dangerous. Seriously. And now new studies show that in the recent ones that giving children smartphones before the age of 13 can negatively impact their mental health and their well-being. Now that's published in the Journal of Human Development. The study analyzed data from over 100,000 young adults ages 18 to 24, found that those who received smartphones at 12 or younger had higher rates of suicidal thoughts, aggression, and detachment from reality. The study highlighted that early smartphone ownership often leads to early social media access, which can expose children to things like cyberbullying, right? Disrupted sleep, poor family relationships. That goes back before the smartphones. I mean, some of you guys who actually pay attention, some of you folks, you know that in some of the shows that they watch, right? The cartoons, the whatever shows that they're watching, are negative family, or always have a character, a son, daughter, whatever, that push back on dad, push back on mom. Always seem to get their way. Tell me that doesn't, with a young mind, that all I have to do is push back. All I have to do is push hard. All I have to do is keep going. I don't know if some of you remember Cheaper by the Dozen. And, you know, I'm just pulling this out of my head. I should have taken notes. But basically, it was a family. The movie was made back in like the 30s or something. And it was a family who had a dozen kids, cheaper by the dozen. And it was all about how they survived. They made it happen. Dad and mom worked together to make it happen. And the family did really well. And dad wasn't portrayed as an idiot, neither was mom. They were both successful people, you know, college grads. So it portrayed a solid, decent, moral family. Well, they did a remake. I think it was it the early 80s? Somebody might remember. They did a remake in the early 80s. And dad was a flaming lunatic. Couldn't seem to get anything done right. Mom was the breadwinner. Smartest one in the group. The kids were out of control. One might have been gay. One might have been transgender. I mean, they introduced all these things into it that I thought made sense. But again, dad was an idiot. Start looking at the shows that your kids were watching and the message that they were getting. It wasn't good. It was all negative family, not positive family. And we didn't think anything of it. I'm not blaming any of you. We really just didn't think anything of it, did we? That's just a show. No big deal. Well, it is a big deal because those kids take that. They see that as a reality in life. And that's what they wanted to step out on. That's what they want to do. You know, it's funny when you read, no matter how you feel about the guy, when you read the stories about Bill Cosby, and that show was the Huxtables. You had a black family that was doing well. Couldn't have that. All right, Joe Messina, your guest host, in for Todd Starnes. You're listening to the Todd Starnes Show. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. Don't leave. Hang out. We'll be right back.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you and don't go unprotected.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
A senior at Grand Island High School in New York wanted to decorate her parking spot with a Bible reference and a cross. The decoration is part of a long-standing tradition for teens. The school district encourages seniors to express themselves, but they can't express themselves with Bible verses. Sabrina Steffens was told by school leaders her design had been rejected because she mentioned phrases like God is love. She also included John 3:16 and a cross. The school explained the parking spot was on school property and therefore she could not mention anything about her Christian faith. They also told her that if they approved a cross, they would also have to approve a satanic symbol. Well, First Liberty Institute's representing Sabrina, they say public schools must be neutral when it comes to religion, and that means the school cannot infringe upon a student's faith, and it's unconstitutional to stifle religious messages. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute. Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Welcome back to the Todd Starnes Show. I'm Joe Messina, your guest host. Appreciate the time you're spending with me today. I really do. Sometimes I know people turn on and go, it's not him. I'm out of here. So thanks for hanging out with me. Give us a call, 901-260-5926. 901-260-5926. And if you can, when you get a minute, head up to the website, read the stories, download the podcasts. Yeah, sometimes you miss the show. And you want to grab the podcast, also the app. Head up there and grab the app so you can listen to us anywhere. You can listen to Todd anywhere. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Hey, a major retail chain just canceled a massive order, leaving MyPillow with an overstock of classic MyPillows. You know, I have one. I shouldn't say one. Every bed in our house has MyPillows on there. For a limited time, MyPillow is offering their entire classic collection at true wholesale prices. Get a standard MyPillow for just $17.98. You want more? Upgrade to the queen size for $22.98 or king size for $24.98. You got to snag the body pillows for $29. Body pillows. Wow, no, I'm good. But hey, some people love those body pillows. $29.98. A versatile multi-use pillows are just $9.98. Visit mypillow.com. Use promo code STARNES, or you can call 800-839-8506. That's 800-839-8506 to get some of these deals for you. All right, let's go to the phones right now. We have got Anna from Georgia on WDUN. And she wants to talk about responsible parenting, and I'm in.
Well, I'm older now. I'm 74. So I raised a couple of kids back in the 70s and 80s, and I was raised back in 50s, 60s. And it started a long time ago with the freewheeling with the kids. I mean, this is not for the faint of heart. When you have kids, you don't have them so that you don't have baby showers and buy them clothes. Well, that's part of it, but this is serious business.
Yeah, and Mary, you're cutting out a little bit, but you're right. It isn't for the faint of heart. It requires commitment and dedication. Seriously, I had 4 kids, so I get you. And I currently have, I wish they would stop, but I currently have 10 grandchildren scattered across the country, which is a good thing. I know some people don't want them to move away, but man, if they're strong enough to make it happen, they get a good job, they're taking care of family, they should be moving. It's a great country, many, many, many great places to live and enjoy. So, again, she's right. This has been going on for decades, and less and less and less. The parents of look at the millennials. I'm sure Todd's done many stories about millennials and Gen Zers and Gen Xers, and truly what their mindset is. I think there was a story, and I might be wrong. I think it was Gen Zers taking parents to job interviews, having parents call first to see if the kid even had a chance to get the job. That's just wrong in every way. My old pastor used to say he and his wife, he had 3 or 4 children, and then she got pregnant again, and he wasn't really ready for it. And when he said, "I'm not ready for it," doesn't mean I don't know how to raise children or, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" He just said he had done his duty, and he knew how much work it took. He knew how much time it was going to take as a parent to make things happen. He knew what he needed to do to raise up a great citizen, a good person, and a godly person. And I think, being a member on the school board, when you hear some parents talk, it's always interesting. Somehow it will slip out. I didn't like the way my parents raised me. I didn't like what their expectations were for me in school. I just couldn't do it. And so now what they're doing is, instead of pushing their kids to be better, to respect authority, I always told my kids, you don't fight with a teacher. You don't fight with a police officer. You respect authority unless what they're telling you to do is flat out illegal or against God. And then what you do, again, you don't argue with them right then and there. You wait. Really that simple. Okay, we got a special caller. I think his name, did you spell this right? It's Todd Starnes, who is on the road, probably coming back to the studio. Am I going to be tongue-lashed?
No, Joe, you're doing great, and welcome to the Todd Starnes Show family. Good to have you filling in for us today, along the lines of Jeff Katz and Harry Hurley and Jeff Stein and the whole crew.
Wow. I'm honored. I really am honored that you I don't think people realize the responsibility of what the big deal is for one host to hand his mic over to another. So I appreciate the trust.
Well, you're doing a great job. No, I'm driving up I-40 slightly over the speed limit, which you know something about. I've driven with you in that Jaguar in Los Angeles.
Well, if you're not going to double the speed limit, then you weren't paying attention.
Clearly, no, I was holding on for dear life. So I'm speaking tonight at a gathering, Americans for Prosperity, the Tennessee chapter. They're hosting a book signing, and so they're enticing people with free pizza, free hot wings, and my understanding is the first round is on Americans for Prosperity. So I'm going to be really an afterthought when it's all said and done.
Well, that sounds exciting. And Americans for Prosperity, why wouldn't we be, right? And we've got just the guy in place right now to make that happen, don't we?
We do, Joe, and I appreciate Americans for Prosperity. They've done a really solid job and, growing across really the entire nation. And I've had a chance to speak at events here in Tennessee as well as in Wichita, Kansas. We did an event, and we're inviting everybody. If you're in Hendersonville, which is just north of Nashville, we'd love for you to come out. The name of the place is Jolly Ollie's Pizza and Pub, and we're expecting about 75, 100 people in the restaurant there. It'll be a lot of fun tonight.
Well, Jolly. Say that again. Pizza and Pub is what I heard.
Jolly Ollie. Yeah, Jolly Ollie.
Yeah, I go for the pizza. Give me the pizza. You never go. Todd, you almost can never get bad pizza, can you? Almost.
This is true. I will say this. I got spoiled living in New York City for 15 years, and there's something about a fresh slice, that you can get from your local pizzeria. So, and you know something about that. I know you're from up in Boston, but, it's everybody's got their whole, their special pizza.
Yeah. I was telling people that I am your token Yankee, and I appreciate that very much.
Well, actually, you and Harry Hurley are. So, but
okay.
We give you guys some grace.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Hey,
Todd, go ahead.
It's interesting, Joe. I was really intrigued by your topic. There is a great story in DeSoto County, Mississippi, which is KWAM. That's our KWAM listing area, and in Memphis. And the sheriff there was invited to come and speak to the Olive Branch High School football team, the boys football team. And they kind of did a thing with the dads and the players. And it was interesting. They said, I think about 30 dads showed up. And the encouragement from the sheriff was, you know what, if we're going to be successful as a nation and as a community, we have to have dads that are engaged and are involved in their sons' lives. And if we don't do that, then there's really not a lot of hope for changing the cultural direction that the country's on right now.
Amen. I mean, I see it in my role as a school board member. A lot of times I see the moms at the games, at events with their kids, with their sons. And, from a biblical standpoint, Todd, it's fathers raise up your children. And that doesn't mean we have to be there with every minute with them. We work together as a team with mom. But we're supposed to oversee and be part of their lives, right?
That's right, and sons need their fathers.
Amen.
That is such a necessity, and we've certainly seen that in a lot of cities where dads are not present in the lives of their young boys, and that's where you get into trouble. So I say, God bless Sheriff Thomas Tuckle, one of our great Republican sheriffs in the state of Mississippi, and they're doing a great job. Pardon me here, I just lost my spleen. They don't like to fill potholes on Interstate 40 for some reason, so my apologies there, Joe Messina.
Well, you haven't been to Boston in a while, apparently. You could actually lose your car in those potholes.
Oh, my Lord. Well, let's just hope I just passed the Popo doing about 80, so let's just hope.
Do you need bail money or anything? Do we need to take up a collection, do a GoFundMe? Or
No. I think we're good.
I can't tell you on the air, but someday when we talk, I'll tell you the story about me getting pulled over in Georgia. And, but that's a story for another day.
Oh, boy. Well, Joe, look, I'm going to let you get back at it, but I love this topic, and it is so relevant to, what's happening in Washington right now, and even with President Trump, and we'll break a little bit of news here. President Trump will be on my show Thursday, and we're going to talk specifically about fatherhood and why young men, especially, are really drawn and attracted to President Trump's message. So it's going to be a great conversation on Thursday's show.
Yeah, you know what? I totally agree with you guys. And the fact that you've got somebody strong to look up to. These kids need to have strong fathers to look up to. They need to have people like Trump, frankly, and I'll put us in that thing, you and me and others that are willing to take a stand and teach them how to be real men, real fathers, and real husbands. So, hey, God bless, Todd. Be careful. Keep the speed below 90, and I think you'll be safe.
That's good to know. Joe, thanks a lot. Great job.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Todd, very much. All right, people. Todd's. I think he's checking on me. That's what I think. But don't tell him I said that. Anyhow, you're listening to Todd Starnes Show. I'm your guest host, Joe Messina. Be back with you in a few minutes. Don't go away. Hang out. If you're in the car and you're stuck in traffic, well, you're stuck with me. But otherwise, hang out. We've got a lot more to talk about when we come back.
About to back up and bring it. You're with Todd Starnes.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot Prayer, and a Liberty Lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarnes.com.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
Attention Patriots, Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/olderadults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Okay. Welcome back to the Todd Starnes Show. I am your guest host today, Joe Messina. So much appreciate the time you're spending with me. I know time is precious, life is precious, and you've chosen to listen to the show, and I appreciate that very much. I believe Todd will be back with you tomorrow, And if you got something to say, and we all have something to say, 901-260-5926, 901-260-5926, and we would love to hear from you. But in the interim, head up to the website during a commercial, during off times. I want you to listen to what we got going on here. But head up to the website, read the stories, download the podcast. We all, miss bits and pieces of a show, and sometimes it doesn't tie together when you come back and you miss the whole segment. Or listen, grab the app. That way you're never without. The app is a great way for you to keep track of the show, to have some input. A great way to leave a message for Todd there. So check it out. Check out the website. One of the callers that called in, and she got cut off, and I'm sorry. If you want to call back, feel free. But I get what you're saying. Parents, we've been through the helicopter parents. We've been through a lot of different cycles of parenting. And I don't know if you've read recently, there was a Wall Street Journal article about saying, real simple, something that some of us old-timers have been saying for a long time. Gentle parenting doesn't work. Telling little Johnny to stop throwing a temper tantrum 17 times in a row in the supermarket doesn't work. And then you're frustrated and you're embarrassed. And then you want everybody else to kind of feel for you. That's just not fair. It's not right. And I can tell you in my generation, my dad's generation was a little tougher, but in our generation, we weren't allowed to do certain things. There were certain things that just flat out weren't acceptable. And they didn't wait to administer judgment and punishment. And I think, you look around, see how the younger crowds talk to the adults. Look, whether I agree with you or not, if you're an older person, you deserve a little bit of respect. I'm going to hold the door for you. I'm going to say, excuse me, right? Going to greet them with a smile. These kids don't look at you anymore because they're too busy looking at those smartphones that are pretty much sucking their brains out. There is so much. We probably could do 2 hours on smartphones, the effect of social media on young kids, how more and more it is detaching them from reality. I don't know if some of you guys remember this years ago. There was a commercial, and I can't remember who it was for. I don't know if it was for an insurance company or what, but it was cute and real. And the young lady had a laptop. She was sitting at the dinner table, just perusing. Her family, the rest of her family were out on bikes. They were out in the sun. They were having fun. And she's sitting there saying, I feel so sorry for them. They only have 110 friends on Facebook. Right? And I'm thinking, wow. No, they don't. They have 110 people that know they exist on Facebook. The friends are the ones that you go out with, you hang out with, you have pizza with. You know what I mean? You got to go to the movies with, go to an event with. Those are your friends. The ones you can call when you need help. Not people on Facebook because they give you a whole bunch of likes. But that's what we've done to this generation by allowing them to think that their world revolves around the smartphone. Can you guys remember a couple of years back when Facebook went down? What was it, for 3 hours? My God, you'd think their lives had come to an end. I've seen video after video as to what these smartphones are doing to young kids. You're using them as babysitters. I had one mom say, yeah, but you guys had TV. Yeah, but TV is totally different than a smartphone. Totally different than being fed these, 15, 20-second, maybe up to a minute or 2 minutes of entertainment. You don't have to think. They're sending everything towards you. And so the imagination is kind of gone. You're so reliant on that phone to get your answers, to tell you what to do. When I first got on the school board, one of the things that was missing, because everybody wants their son or daughter to be a doctor, a lawyer, surgeon, Indian chief, whatever. But not everybody's going to be that. Not everybody's cut out for college. My son makes probably 3 times as much money as the teachers that pounded on him to go to college as a appliance installer. And it's a big deal. I don't have time to do the whole thing that I want to do. But, and maybe later I will, but give it some thought. AI is coming in. Everybody's excited about AI. I'm not. I don't mind modern technology, but I am not. You know, AI is coming for who? What are they coming for? They're coming for a lot of the jobs that your kids have been going to school for, been studying. When it comes to coding, they've been pushing kids to do coding for years. And I'm saying, no. Don't do it. Because coding is going to be taken over. AI is going to do a big portion of the coding itself. It already does a massive amount of coding. But you know what AI can't do? Can't take over plumbing jobs, carpentry, electricians, mechanics, masons. I mean, can go on and on and on with this. You get the picture, right? So make sure your kids get a trade. Dad, let them tinker around the house with you. Fix things. Joe Messina, your guest host, in for Todd Starnes. Don't go far. A lot more coming up after the break. Evan Sayet joins me. We'll be back.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNES and save $100 on Recruiter.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. You're listening to Todd Starnes Show. I'm not Todd, obviously. I am your guest host, Joe Messina. Always a pleasure to have you with me. I do appreciate the time you spend with me. Like I said, I know time is precious, and you're spending it listening to the show, and I appreciate it. Before I bring on my next guest, though, somebody had texted me during the break. And, everybody's screaming about Trump. There are lawsuits now being brought trying to stop Trump from cleaning up D.C. And I got to my next guest, a lot smarter than I am. I want to see what he has to say about this. And they're trying to get Trump out of D.C. There's been almost 300 arrests, half of those violent illegals. And so, people were out eating. Did anybody catch that you had interviews with people in the street? The first time they were out eating in D.C. at a restaurant that had the sidewalk tables. And they were enjoying themselves. They had smiles on their faces. They were tipping their hat to the police officers that were walking by. The way society should be. But what I think is, I don't know. Nobody's told me this. I can't get into Trump's head. I don't think anybody can get in Trump's head. But I think he's going to make it so safe. He's going to drive that crime, and the numbers are staggering. Carjacking's down 83%. Seriously? I mean, help me out here. What's bad about that? Why is that so terrible? So anyhow, that it's way down. You hear it on good news channels like Newsmax. But if I was Trump, and maybe this is what he's thinking, he's going to clean up D.C., and then he's going to let them win one of their little lawsuits or say, okay, yeah, hey, no problem. You don't want me here, I'll leave. The residents want him there. And then leave and watch the crime rate skyrocket. And then he'll say, hey, you didn't want me there. You even voted for those boneheads that keep bringing back crime. Let me see what my next guest has to say. He's a lot smarter than I am. Evan Sayed joins me. He's a conservative writer, author, and speaker. Author of the many books, but The Woke Supremacy and Anti-Socialist Manifesto, and my favorite, Kindergarten of Eden, How the Modern Liberal Thinks. And Evan, thanks for being with me.
Oh, my pleasure, Joe. Joe, before we get started, I need to apologize. I am at an event in Las Vegas, and you know how loud those events are. So I tried to sneak out, and it's too loud in the hallway. So I tried to go, and it was too loud there. I even went into the men's room, and they were piping music in there. So I am actually broadcasting live with you to 150 stations or how many ever from the loading dock of the Venetian. So if you hear tires squealing, if you hear,
we will take truth. We will take truth any way we can get it, Evan,
Well, I'm sort of like Donald Trump. I go to where the working people are.
That's true. That is, it wouldn't surprise me to hear that he walked through the loading dock to the kitchen to meet the people. I mean, it really wouldn't surprise me at all.
It shouldn't surprise you. That is simply a fact. He not only goes out of his way to be where the working people are, but he stops and he shakes hands and he talks and he asks them about them. I mean, as you know, I've written, you didn't tell your audience this, but I've written 5 speeches for President Trump. So I know from where I speak.
Yeah. No, I know you have. So I don't know if you heard my comment about D.C. and the cleanup he's got going on there. And boy, does he know how to do it. And now, did you see the videos from residents of Chicago that are putting them up on YouTube and X and other places saying, hey, come here, do that here?
Joe, you were talking about the people protesting. The people protesting are not the people who need and want the cops. If you look, I don't know what the statistic is, something like 43% or larger, significantly larger perhaps, is black. And yet you do not see a black face amongst the protesters. Okay, you see once again the rich, white, coastal elitists who really don't care about safety, really don't care about the well-being of their fellow Americans. They are simply anti-Trump. And there's something I want to add to that. Keep in mind, people say that they have Trump derangement syndrome, and they certainly do. But it didn't start with Trump. All right, they were calling Bush Hitler. They were calling Reagan Hitler. They were even before Hitler. They were calling us Hitler. So this is nothing new. It's just worse because Trump is the first, if you remember my article for Town Hall, to actually fight back.
Yeah, he doesn't. The nice thing about it is he doesn't need a job after this. He's got the money. He sent them into a tailspin because every single lawsuit they brought against him, he pushed back on, and he had the money to pull it off, and he didn't have to give up. And I know.
But it's,
go ahead.
It's not. Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe. It's we know each other well enough that I can interrupt you. All right.
Yes, you can. Yeah,
forever,
please do.
So I apologize. That being said, it's the chutzpah. It's the backbone. It's the spine.
Yeah.
This man has taken on and stood up. And you know what? At any point, he could have said enough. I retire, and they would have stopped. Look how they stopped their attacks on Kavanaugh. Look how Barack Obama is now best friends with George W. Bush. It's all an act. It's all for money and power. And he could have done that at any time, and he didn't. Which is why, again, to refer to my article for Town Hall, I called it "He Fights."
Yeah. No. I mean, and that is what's turning on young people to him. Young men to him. You heard, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but that's what we were talking about, how young men are looking for men. They're looking for men to teach them how to be men and boys and providers and protectors. And we haven't had that in years other than with Trump.
Indeed. I mean, there was actually a poll of Democrats to name the most masculine Democrat they can think of, and the only person they could think of was Barack Obama, who crosses his legs like a sissy, throws like a girl, and is probably dominated by his wife.
I'm surprised he didn't say either Michelle Obama or AOC. I don't know. I mean.
Indeed.
Hey, breaking news I'm sure will surprise you to no end. But Bill Barr came out and said that, hey, you know what? There was no connection from Trump to the Epstein files. He had nothing to do with Epstein or his trips. And I rolled around laughing. I'm just saying, really? This is news?
Right. Well, we knew this because the Biden administration had control of the Epstein files for half a decade, and then 8 years prior to that under Barack Obama, and not if Trump was in them in any way that could have been even spun, they would have released it all those years ago. So we knew there was nothing incriminating. In fact, quite the opposite. As we know, look, people in New York know each other. People who do the same thing. People in Los Angeles, we all know each other. Right? People who do the same thing, we all know each other. So the fact that he knew Epstein is not what's telling. What's telling is that he fought with Epstein. He barred Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. That's
right.
what's telling.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. That's so true. But they won't bring that stuff up. They won't talk about any of that right now. So
Well, truth plays no part in the Democrat Party, and you go all the way back to Saul Alinsky, who wrote the rules for what was once radical but is now mainstream Democrat, and truth was not an objective. Winning was. Power was. It was sort of the precursor to Machiavelli. Right? Machiavelli was all about how to keep power once you had it. Alinsky was how to get power no matter what. So they were one and two, Alinsky and Machiavelli, and that's who the Democrats turn to for their playbook. It's all about getting power and then keeping power, and it's nothing about morality, it's nothing about decency, it's nothing about truth, it's nothing about justice, it's about getting power, and then once that power is gotten, keeping power.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I want to give you an update here. So nearly half of the crime-related arrests in D.C., they've occurred in wards 7 and 8. Since August 8th, the day President Donald Trump began flooding the capital city with federal law enforcement, the numbers now, the 2 wards accounted for 11% of the district's population, but 60% of the district's homicides. And they have virtually stopped it. There were 52 arrests over the weekend, most of them MS-13 gang members. They're cleaning up the streets. And Evan, you and I have had a lot of talks around this. It's like the Democrats are out there saying, we prefer illegals, we prefer criminals, we prefer murderers and rapists. I don't know how they're going to play this down in 2026.
I do believe, and man, I wish this were out there and known, because this is an argument I've been making for going on 20 years, since the Kindergarten of Eden. At a certain point, there's going to be no left. There's only going to be the radical left, the woke, which are going to be a handful of crazies, and everybody else is going to be in the Republican Party. Now, what's going to happen at that point is the Republican Party is going to split in half. Because a lot of people misunderstand, and they call Republicans who don't agree with them rhinos. No, they're not rhinos. They are not conservatives. And the Republican Party is not the conservative party. It's a party that houses conservatism, but to be a centrist Republican is not to be a rhino. So what you'll have is the party split between the conservatives plus the libertarians, and on the other side, you'll have the moderate Democrats along with the true liberal Democrats who have come over to our side, and we will return to the kind of good-natured battle where the disagreement wasn't about whether America was great, it was how to make America better.
Oh, listen, I agree. I was just looking recently at a survey of Democrats, and back in 2000, 67% of Democrats were proud to be Americans, so had a positive view of the U.S. They are now down to 37%.
Indeed. And, again, go back to my original book, The Kindergarten of Eden. It begins with me talking about John F. Kennedy and how he would be a right-wing fanatic today. Look at the two things, from his most famous speech. Ask not what your country can do for you. Well, what is the Democratic Party about today? Demand that your country do nearly everything for you, and ask what you can do for your country. Well, these people believe that's xenophobic. They don't believe in country. They believe that they are citizens of the world, not citizens of the United States.
Well, you and I have had this conversation before, but the Democrats have proven they're no friends to American citizens, number one. And finally, I hope the Jewish community sees they're no friends to Israel. They're no friends to the Jews.
Indeed, and they've never really been, not since the Democratic Party. Look, the Democratic Party changed greatly when the 60s radicals became the powers that be. in the 80s and 90s. In fact, one of the founding 60s radicals was a guy named Mark Rudd. And Mark Rudd said the true flowering of the 60s will come in the 90s when we've taken over the institutions. Well, Joe, he was wrong only because he missed the obvious. Once they've taken over the institutions, they would then need one generation to use those schools, use those institutions to brainwash another generation to become their social justice warriors. Well, if it's 30 years from the 60s to the 90s, what's 30 years from the 90s?
Oh, we're there.
That's why now, where even just a few years ago, Barack Obama still had to talk in dog whistles, Barack Obama still had to say things like fundamental change. We now have AOC and Bernie Sanders calling it what it always was, revolution. They're no longer hiding who they are and what they are because they believe they've gotten to that tipping point where they have won the revolution. They're wrong, but that's what they believe.
Yeah, you're so right there. And all right, we're running out of time. I want you to tell people where to get your books and where they might be able to see you soon.
Oh, well, you know where they can see me is where they hire me to speak. You know, I am that's why I'm outside in the loading dock, because I'm at a speaking engagement right now. So they can find me at evan.sayet@gmail.com. Go to evansayet.com. Buy my books at amazon.com by looking up my name, Evan, S as in Sam, Ayet.
Evan, always a pleasure. You know, man, I love you. I love your friendship. And like I said, I meant it. You're a heck of a lot smarter than I am. That's why I have you on with me to straighten things out. Good luck to you.
And that's why I come on.
To help me out. Okay. All right. God bless, Evan. Be safe.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Evan Sayet, check him out. You can just Google his name. He's got some great books out there. And I mean that sincerely. Not just, he's been a friend for years. And very, you know, I talk about him as being my cerebral friend. You know, he really gets deep down into what's going on. And I met him when he first wrote that book, Kindergarten of Eden, How the Modern Liberal Thinks, because I used to tease him and say, you know, you're inferring that the modern liberal actually thinks. I'm not so sure that's a true statement. So that's why I started bringing him on my show. Anyhow, again, wonderful guy. You may want to try to catch him online, some of his writings. A lot of good writings out there as well. Always appreciate your time with me. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Hey, listen, you know, head up to the website, grab the podcasts, grab the app. The app is phenomenal from a standpoint of you really can listen. You can catch up. If you got a meeting and you couldn't listen to the show, you can always grab the show later on right off the app, right off the podcasts. And you can send a message during or even after the show from the app, which is I'm envious of. It's really cool. You can send a message and you'll get you may get a response. Might get played online. I don't know. We'll see. You've been listening to the Todd Starnes Show. I am your guest host, Joe Messina. Appreciate your time with me. We'll be back with you in a few minutes for a quick wrap up. And again, I'm telling you, get informed, then get engaged. That's easily how it works. We'll be right back. Again, I am Joe Messina, your guest host.
It's Todd Starnes.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder, as soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
And wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
We are back. You've been listening to the Todd Starnes Show. I am Joe Messina, your guest host, and I very much appreciate and thank Todd for allowing me to take his seat for the past 3 hours. Hope you've been informed. I don't want to say entertained because I don't sing or dance. You don't want to see that, believe me. And I just want to make sure you got the information you needed. You gotta go get the app. I keep tripping on that. I don't mean to, but you got to go get the app. Head up to the website, read the stories, download the podcasts, and grab the app. The app makes it so much easier for you to listen when you're not in the general area, when you're not close by. Anyway, my name is Joe Messina. You can check me out at joemessina.com. Real simple, joemessina.com. I do a show Monday through Fridays as well, and would appreciate you checking that out from time to time. Todd will be back with you tomorrow. God bless people. Be safe and have a great rest of the day.
Attention Patriots, Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.